Had a few teammates buy the LEOMO, friends that also got it, and they're having some pretty basic questions. So this is a basic rundown of LEOMO's terminology. Okay, so you have your FAR as one of them, your foot angle range. It's the range of movement in your foot. It's pretty simple, not complicated. Start point, end point. Foot angle range Q1, which is the exact same thing, but in your quarter one of your pedal stroke. This is important because this is when you apply the most amount of force. Not when you get the most amount of power, because that can be after 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, but it's when you start to push and see how your foot reacts to how hard you're pushing. LAR, your leg angle range, is the movement of your leg going up and down in comparison to each other. Then you have your pelvis, which is your pelvic angle, pelvic rotation, pelvic rock. How much your pelvic goes over. So if you're sitting up on the bars and you're leaning more over in your race position, it just measures it. Your pelvic rock is the amount of moving forwards and back on the bike. So if you're having a too big a gear, poor posture, or something like this, you're moving back and forwards and you cannot maintain it. And your pelvic rotation is your pelvic moving this way. And a good example of if you don't have good core stability, or your seat is too high and you're trying to reach down and push the pedal stroke. So you have a pelvic rotation. Last not least, dead spot score. LEOMO has dead spot score because it measures it. It actually tells you the intensifier of this score. So obviously you want to minimize your dead spots and minimize intensity and have a lower score as possible. So like I did a video before on dead spot score and the importance of training your technique on the bike. I think ultimately the goal of the whole thing is to have a reduced dead spots, and your angles, your leg angles, your foot angles, this all comes into it, and you can play around with your position to minimize your dead spot score. It's not only just about having smooth pedaling efficiency. You might have a good dead spot on one leg and a bad dead spot on the other, and you can have a look at your leg angle range, your foot angle range, and you can see if you have a good imbalance or not a good imbalance, just to see why you have a bad dead spot score on one leg and not the other. So this is just basics, just getting into it. So someone who's picked up a LEOMO for the first time, this is your basic terminology and what the numbers mean. Later on, we'll get into the software and we'll have a look at exactly what it does. You get to see everything, it's pretty cool, so that's going to be an exciting video. Until then, stay safe. See you next time.